Maya thought she was an only child. She thought her life was ordinary, safe, predictable, built on the quiet comfort of family dinners and framed photos. But the truth was buried in a DNA test her mother never wanted her to take. And when that truth came out, it didn't just break a secret. It shattered an entire family live on national television. What started as curiosity became a confession 30 years in the making. What happened next would test the limits of forgiveness, identity, and what it really means to call someone family. The cameras hum quietly in the background. The stage is calm, too calm, like the silence before a storm. Dr. Phil sits at center, his expression measured, compassionate but watchful. To his right sits Maya. Her posture is perfect, but her hands tremble slightly as she grips a folded sheet of paper, the email that changed everything. Across from her, an empty chair waits. It's ordinary in shape, but in this moment, it holds the weight of a lifetime. Dr. Phil leans forward. Maya, he says softly, you reached out to us because you discovered something you never expected. Tell me what happened. Her voice is thin, careful. I took one of those at-home DNA tests. You know, the ones everyone's doing now. It was supposed to be fun, to see where I'm from. But when the results came in, one name stood out. She pauses, swallowing hard. It said full sibling match. The audience shifts uneasily. You can feel the air tighten. Dr. Phil's voice lowers. And that name? Maya nods slowly. Ava Reynolds. I've never heard of her, but she shares half my DNA. The camera pans close, the light catching the edge of her tear. She continues. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I called the company. I emailed them, but the data was right. The dates were right. The blood was right. Her voice cracks. What wasn't right was my mother's reaction. She told me not to dig, not to ask questions, that there were things I didn't understand. Dr. Phil sits back. His silence is deliberate, the kind that lets truth echo on its own. So here we are, he finally says. You've spent your entire life believing you were an only child. And today, on this stage, you'll meet the woman who says she's your sister. Maya looks toward that empty chair, fear and hope tangled in her eyes. She thought her story ended with a click of a mouse. The narrator reflects. But it didn't. That empty seat next to her isn't just a chair. It's a lifetime of silence, about to be broken. The studio audience leans forward, waiting. You can almost hear hearts beating in unison. Dr. Phil looks to the camera. Coming up, a DNA test that rewrites a family's history, and a mother who says she did it all for love. Fade to black. The story rewinds. 3 weeks before the stage lights, before the cameras, back to a quiet kitchen in Texas. Morning sunlight filters through lace curtains. A kettle whistles softly in the background. The world feels calm. Maya sits at the counter with her laptop open. She's sipping coffee, scrolling through emails. And then, she sees it. Your DNA results are ready. Her heart beats a little faster. It's supposed to be harmless. Just one of those ancestry kits everyone posts about online. She clicks. The screen loads slowly, the spinning circle mocking her curiosity. Then the chart appears, family tree, names, percentages. But one line stands out, glowing like a secret written in neon. Full sibling match, Ava Reynolds. At first, she laughs. It has to be wrong. Maybe a glitch. A database error. She refreshes the page. Still there. Full sibling. Not cousin. Not half-sibling. Full. She whispers to herself. No, that can't be right. From the hallway, her mother, Laura, walks in, robe tied tight, coffee mug in hand. She notices Maya's face before she even asks, "What's wrong?" Maya turns the laptop around slowly. "Mom, who's Ava Reynolds?" The cup stops midair. Laura's eyes freeze. The kind of pause that says there's something she doesn't want you to know. Her voice comes out soft, almost rehearsed. "Honey, maybe that's a mistake. You know those tests aren't always accurate." Maya stares at her. It says full sibling. That's not a mistake. For a long moment, neither of them moves. The ticking of the kitchen clock feels deafening. Finally, Laura exhales a slow, guilty sigh. You weren't supposed to know. Those 6 words hit harder than any confession could. Maya's breath shakes. What do you mean, supposed to know? Know what? But Laura doesn't answer. She sets her mug down and walks out of the room, silent, shaking, avoiding her daughter's eyes. The camera of our minds follows Maya down the hallway as she stands in the doorway, calling after her mother. Mom, please, just tell me who she is. No response. Only the sound of a door quietly clicking shut. Hours later, Maya is in the attic. Dust floats through beams of sunlight as she opens old boxes. Inside, she finds photo albums, birthday cards, old report cards, the normal stuff. Until one photo slips loose and lands on the floor. It's a hospital photo. A baby wrapped in a pink blanket, labeled with a paper wristband. Reynolds, AR. Taped behind it, a folded note, yellowed with age. 3 words in her mother's handwriting. Forgive me someday. Maya's voice breaks. What is this? She sits there for a long time, staring at the photo. The pieces are starting to connect, but she doesn't want them to. She doesn't want this to be real. The narrator's voice softens. Sometimes the truth doesn't knock. It breaks down the door. That night, Maya sits alone at her kitchen table. Her laptop glows in the dark as she types Ava Reynolds into social media. A few profiles appear. None look familiar. But one, a woman in her 30s, same dark eyes, same cheekbones, catches her attention. She hesitates before clicking message. Her fingers hover above the keyboard. What do you even say to someone who might be your sister? She types, deletes, types again. Finally, she sends 6 words. I think we're related. She stares at the screen, waiting. Minutes pass. Then hours. No reply. When she finally gets up to pour another cup of coffee, her phone buzzes. A new message appears. I've been waiting for this. Maya's stomach twists. Waiting? For what? And that's when the phone rings. A calm producer's voice comes through the speaker. Maya, this is Dr. Phil's team. We received an email from someone named Ava Reynolds. She believes you're her sister. Would you be willing to talk to Dr. Phil about your story? Maya goes silent. It's too much, too fast. But something in her, maybe fear, maybe hope, makes her whisper yes. The next morning, she packs a small bag. A folded photo. A printout of the DNA results. The truth has already begun its journey, and there's no turning back. She boards a flight to Los Angeles. As the plane takes off, she stares out the window. The narrator's tone returns, reflective and haunting. We all think we know who we are, until one secret changes the story. The question is, what do you do when that truth finally finds you? Cut to black. Meanwhile, across the country, another life is unfolding. Ava Reynolds wakes to the sound of her phone buzzing again. Another missed call. Unknown number. She ignores it. Probably another scam. But then, a voicemail appears. Hi, Ava. This is the Dr. Phil show. We'd love to speak with you about a possible family connection. Please call us back. She freezes mid-step. Dr. Phil? What are they talking about? She hits replay. The words don't change. Family connection. Ava sits on the edge of her bed, staring at the wall. She's 33. She's lived in 5 foster homes, 3 apartments, and 2 states. Family has always been a word that belonged to other people. So why now, after all these years, is someone suddenly claiming to be hers? She opens her drawer, pulling out a small velvet box. Inside, there's a single silver locket. The photo inside is faded, a baby girl wrapped in a hospital blanket. On the back, scratched in small letters, Maya R. Ava whispers, I've looked for you my whole life. But hope isn't easy when it's been betrayed before. She dials the number back. A calm woman answers, Ava, we'd like to confirm something. Are you aware of a woman named Maya Roberts? Ava laughs bitterly. Aware? No. Curious? Always. The producer's voice softens. She took a DNA test. You're a match. Full siblings. There's silence. Then a deep inhale. That's impossible. Would you be willing to come on the show and meet her? The producer asks. Ava hesitates. Her hands tremble. I'm not a spectacle, she says. You're not. The producer replies gently. You're a story that deserves to be heard. Days later, Ava steps through the glass doors of the Dr. Phil studio. The lights are bright. The floor gleams. She can feel the hum of the cameras, the whisper of producers moving behind the scenes. She doesn't trust any of it, not the smiles, not the coffee they offer, not even the quiet reassurance that this will be healing. But there's something she does trust, the truth. She's lived too long without it. In the pre-interview room, she sits across from a young producer. He asks gently, "What do you hope happens today?" Ava exhales. "Hope." She smirks. "I stopped doing that years ago. I just want answers." He nods. "And if she's really your sister?" Ava pauses, staring at the floor. "Then I want to know why it wasn't worth keeping." Her words hang heavy in the air. Cut to a quiet moment backstage. Ava looks at her reflection in the dressing room mirror. Same brown eyes. Same small scar above her lip. One she got climbing a chain-link fence as a kid. She wonders if Maya has the same one. The narrator speaks softly. Two women. Two lives that should have crossed long ago, separated by a choice neither made. Ava grips her locket tighter. "You wanted to protect her," she mutters under her breath, thinking of her birth mother. "But you left me out here to figure out alone." She looks into the camera recording her B-roll interview and says, "I don't want her to apologize. I just want her to look at me and not turn away." The interviewer asks, "Do you think you'll forgive her mother?" Ava pauses. "Forgiveness isn't the problem," she says quietly. "Belonging is." As the studio audience begins to fill, Ava's escort signals her to stand by. She can hear the muffled sound of Dr. Phil's voice from the stage. Calm, steady, authoritative. She's been waiting for this moment her entire life, he says, introducing Ava's story. Two sisters. One secret that never should have been kept. Ava closes her eyes. Her heartbeat quickens. The doors open. Bright light spills in. She walks out, slow, deliberate, her heels echoing on the stage floor. Maya turns in her seat. Their eyes lock for the first time. Neither speaks. Neither needs to. The camera cuts close. Dr. Phil looks from one to the other. "You two share the same DNA," he says, "but not the same history. Today, maybe that starts to change." Maya looks ready to cry. Ava looks ready to run. Dr. Phil continues, his tone steady. "Before we go further, I need you both to hear something. Family isn't about who kept the secret. It's about who has the courage to face it." The narrator's voice returns as the shot lingers on their faces. They didn't know it yet, but the truth that brought them together was about to tear open wounds no camera could ever fully capture. The tension builds. The audience holds its breath. Maya whispers, almost to herself, "She looks just like me." Ava glances up. "No," she says softly. "You look just like her." The audience murmurs. Dr. Phil raises his hand gently. "We're not done yet," he says. "Because in just a moment, their mother, the woman who held this secret for 3 decades, will walk onto this stage." The crowd gasps. Ava's jaw tightens. Maya's eyes widen. Cut to black. The narrator whispers. "And when she does, everything they thought they knew about love, sacrifice, and forgiveness will change forever." The audience is silent. You could hear a pin drop. Dr. Phil sits between them, Maya on one side, Ava on the other, a gulf of 30 years stretching between two chairs. He leans forward, voice calm but heavy with gravity. "This isn't about blame," he says. "It's about truth. And sometimes, truth hurts before it heals." Maya's hands twist in her lap. Ava's stare is sharp, guarded. You can almost see the battle happening behind her eyes, anger and longing fighting for space. Then Dr. Phil looks toward the backstage curtain. "Laura," he says, "come join us." A slow shuffle. The curtain parts. Maya's mother steps out. She's pale, fragile, the kind of woman who carries her guilt in the curve of her shoulders. The crowd whispers, but she keeps her gaze on the floor until she sits down. Dr. Phil's tone softens. "Laura, your daughters have lived separate lives for over 3 decades. They both deserve to hear the truth from you." Laura swallows hard. "I never wanted this to happen like this," she says, voice trembling. "I was 21. My marriage was falling apart. I had a newborn, Maya, and I was pregnant again before I even knew what to do. My husband said he couldn't handle another child. We were broke. I was scared." She wipes a tear from her cheek. "So I made a choice I've regretted every single day since. I gave Ava up for adoption. The audience gasps. Maya covers her mouth. Ava doesn't blink. Dr. Phil nods slowly. You told Maya she didn't have any siblings. What? Laura's lip trembles. Because I was ashamed. Because I thought keeping the secret would keep the pain away. I told myself it was for Ava's good, that she'd have a better life. Ava's voice cuts through the air like glass. For my good? You left me with strangers, and you call that good? Laura looks at her, finally meeting her eyes. I was told your adoptive family could give you more. I wanted to believe that. But when I found out you ended up in foster care, I couldn't face what I'd done. Ava shakes her head. You didn't even try. Maya's eyes fill. Mom, all those years you told me I was your only child. Why? Laura's voice breaks. Because I didn't want to lose you too. I thought if you found out, you'd hate me. Dr. Phil interjects gently. Laura, secrets don't protect love, they poison it. He turns to Ava. You've carried pain that wasn't your fault. But you also carry the choice of what happens next. You can stay angry, or you can understand what shaped her fear. Ava exhales, her walls cracking just enough for the hurt to spill through. Understanding doesn't erase what she did. Dr. Phil nods. No, but it can stop the pain from controlling you. The camera zooms in, a tear slides down Ava's cheek. Maya reaches over, hand trembling, and whispers, I didn't know. I swear I didn't. Ava looks at her. Long, heavy silence. I know, she finally says. You didn't take me away. You just got to stay. The audience murmurs. Some wipe tears. Laura sobs. I'm sorry, both of you. I thought love meant protecting you from pain. But I was wrong. Love means telling the truth, even when it hurts. Dr. Phil's voiceover carries the reflection. We all think secrets keep us safe. But what they really do is keep us stuck. He turns to Ava. Can you look at your mother and tell her what you need to move forward? Ava takes a shaky breath. I need her to admit I mattered, that I wasn't disposable. Laura nods, barely holding it together. You mattered from the first heartbeat. I've just spent 30 years too afraid to say it out loud. The silence that follows feels sacred, the kind of silence where healing begins to whisper. Dr. Phil leans forward. You don't have to forgive right now, he says. But maybe today is the day you both stop running from the truth. Maya finally reaches for Ava's hand. For a second, Ava hesitates. Then she lets her sister's fingers intertwine with hers. The camera holds that moment. Fragile, trembling, real. Dr. Phil's voice lowers. That right there, that's the beginning of something honest. But the hardest part comes after the cameras stop. That's when the real work begins. Ava wipes her eyes. I don't hate you, she whispers to Maya. I just want to know who we could have been. Dr. Phil nods gently. Then let's find out. He looks straight into the lens. Up next, what happens when forgiveness meets reality? Stay with us. The screen fades to black. The narrator's voice lingers. In the end, it's not the secrets that destroy us. It's the silence that follows. The commercial break ends. The studio lights dim just enough for the moment to breathe. Dr. Phil's voice returns, lower now, not as a host, but as a witness to something human. He looked from Maya to Ava. You both came here today carrying pain that started long before either of you had a choice. The question now is, what do you want to carry out of here? The air feels heavy, but alive. You can almost feel the studio holding its breath. Maya looks across the table. Her voice shakes, but it's steady enough to be heard. I want my sister. Ava blinks, one tear, silent, defiant. And what if I don't know how to be one? Dr. Phil leans in. Then you learn together. That line lands hard, a truth too simple to argue with. Laura, sitting between them, covers her mouth. I don't deserve this moment, she whispers. Dr. Phil turns to her, calm but firm. No parent who lies ever does. But you're here. You're facing it. That's a start. The camera pans slowly across all three. Three faces shaped by the same pain, lit by the same soft studio glow. Then Maya does something that no script could plan. She stands, walks over, and kneels in front of her sister. I don't know what our story is supposed to be, she says quietly. But I know I don't want to end with this stage. Ava stares down at her. She's shaking, Not from anger now, but from something more fragile. You don't even know me. Maya nods. Then tell me who you are. And just like that, something breaks open. Ava exhales, long and trembling, as if 30 years of pain finally have a place to land. She stands, takes one step forward, and pulls Maya into her arms. It's awkward at first, hesitant, uneven, but then it becomes real. You can see it in the way her shoulders drop, the way she closes her eyes. The audience rises to their feet. Some are crying quietly. Dr. Phil's voice cuts through the soft applause. Sometimes, healing doesn't begin with forgiveness, he says. It begins with understanding. Laura stands too, watching her daughters, her secret and her shame now standing hand in hand. I thought love meant protection, she says softly. But maybe it means truth. Dr. Phil nods. Love without honesty isn't love at all. It's fear wearing a disguise. The moment slows. Ava reaches into her pocket and pulls out her locket, the one she's carried since childhood. She opens it and shows Maya the tiny photo inside. I've had this my whole life, she says. Didn't even know who she was. Turns out, it was you. Maya's lips tremble. Ava lifts the chain and places it around her sister's neck. It's yours now. The symbolism isn't lost on anyone. The crowd doesn't clap. They just sit in reverent silence. Dr. Phil looks toward the camera, his expression both solemn and hopeful. To anyone watching this, ask yourself, if you're hiding a secret like this, who are you really protecting? Because truth always finds a way out. And when it does, you have two choices: run from it or reach for the people it was meant to free. He glances back at Maya, Ava, and Laura. 3 lives, 1 truth, finally in the open. As the credits begin to roll, Dr. Phil's voice lingers like a heartbeat beneath the music. Family isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, even when it hurts. The camera fades to black, then reopens on a soft montage. Maya and Ava laughing off-camera during rehearsal, sharing childhood photos, sitting together in quiet conversation. No captions, no words, just life continuing, finally together. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because every family has secrets, but not every secret has to stay buried. And maybe, just maybe, forgiveness starts with one brave conversation.